Parkinson's patients are self-medicating with cannabis, and they are seeing very good results. So the question is, does cannabis help treat Parkinson's symptoms, and why are so many people self-medicating with it? Well, that's what we're going to delve into today. Parkinson's disease, of course, is a terrible neurodegenerative disorder that severely affects one's movement. And since it affects the nervous system, movement, and body parts that are controlled through our nerves, patients with Parkinson's disease suffer from being unable to move as they wish, since there's no longer any body coordination. Symptoms of Parkinson's often start out very mild, though they all eventually progress. Tremors and shaking are a hallmark early symptom, typically starting out in the fingers and hands. Other symptoms gradually begin, and these symptoms include bradykinesia, muscle rigidity, impaired coordination and balance, changes in speech and writing, and overall loss of movement when the disease has progressed too severe. Parkinson's disease is the most common neurodegenerative disease in the world. According to the Parkinson's Foundation, it affects about 1 million people in the United States alone, and globally, around 8.5 million people live with this condition. Well, there are several medications that can slow down the progression of Parkinson's disease. Many patients have found relief in using cannabis as well. There's a growing number of clinical trials, studies, and surveys pointing to the efficacy of cannabis in treating Parkinson's disease symptoms. Just do a search on Google or check out YouTube, and you'll even see some incredible videos showing how marijuana impacts its symptoms, like this one. Scientists, doctors, and patients alike are all interested to know more about marijuana and Parkinson's. A recent study published in the Journal of Parkinson's Disease found that a third of Parkinson's patients turn to marijuana as well as coffee as natural aids to help them cope with the disease. More often than not, they also do not disclose this to their doctors in fear. And other natural aids that they commonly turn to include turmeric as well. Interest in natural sources of bioactive molecules documented here corroborates other studies indicating that people with Parkinson's disease to become active players in the design for their therapies. This offers an opportunity to further develop personalized treatments and promote patient involvement in healthcare decision-making, according to this recent study. It's easy to see why people are increasingly seeing cannabis as a natural health aid. After all, it has been used since ancient millennia traditionally. It's based on whole plant medicine that has little to no side effects other than the psychoactive characteristics. Cannabis is also not addicting and non-toxic, unlike other pharmaceutical medications. In addition, if weed is legal where you live, it can be easy to integrate into your lifestyle, especially to mitigate the other symptoms of the condition. Marijuana can certainly help mitigate many symptoms of this neurodegenerative disease and possibly even slow down its progression. You must remember that it can still interact with other medications. So consultation with healthcare providers is always best so that we know the right dosage, maximum efficacy, and safety at all times. Back in 2021, a survey conducted to poll patients diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Researchers utilized a cross-sectional based survey throughout Germany using a questionnaire that had developed themselves into 25 different questions, which sought to ask patients about their cannabis use for Parkinson's, their patient knowledge, as well as demographics. A total of 24,000 questionnaires were distributed, and 1,123 were analyzed from the 1,126 that were returned. And 90% of the 250 patients who were invited to join the survey responded. Among them, 15% were marijuana users, 13.9% were regular cannabis users, while 32.2% were considered just occasional. It was surprising that just 51% said they were knowledgeable about weed. Just 8.8% understood the difference between CBD and THC. However, over half of them reported that weed had a positive clinical effect on them. Our data confirms that ED patients have a high interest in treatment with medical cannabis but lack knowledge about how to take it, especially the differences between the two main cannabinoids, THC and CBD, explained Professor Karsten Boomen, the lead investigator and professor at the Department of Neurology in the University of Medical Hamburg in Eppendorf, Hamburg. Studies show that cannabis targets several mechanisms of Parkinson's disease to provide relief to patients. These may vary from one patient to another, but cannabis has been shown to help reduce muscle rigidity, tremors, mitigate anxiety and depression caused by the disease, improve sleep, and reduce pain, among others. Cannabis may also help treat dyskinesia, the uncontrolled involuntary muscle movements ranging from shakes, tremors, full body movements, which is a side effect of using conventional Parkinson's treatments for a very long period of time. All these said, there's still much more we need to know about cannabis and this disease. If you're interested in trying weed for symptoms for you or a loved one, we always recommend consulting with your healthcare provider. Ideally, they're knowledgeable about the use of cannabis for Parkinson's disease and may be able to offer helpful advice when it comes to dosing and consumption for whatever your specific needs are. Furthermore, we need stronger clinical data to back up the safety of said dosage as well as the cannabinoids in weed. Many elderly patients or those who are sick do not want to experience the psychoactive effects of THC. Why not? More data on weed's mechanism of action and variability of response will help healthcare professionals curate a more personalized treatment plan that can include cannabis together with other conventional medication. Like Jason Beck said, I'm Todd Denkin with High at 9 News. And do you guys know of anybody using cannabis for Parkinson's? I do, and I've seen really good results from this friend that I do have. And I think it's great that it's being explored more. What do you guys think? It seems like education, though, is the key. Like, nobody knows what anything is. So, like Saman says, smoke weed every day. Mm-hmm. Not only does education create good legislation, but education creates just knowledge for the consumer. They understand that this is not a drug, it is an herb.
This is great news. This is great news. Oh, this is a positive.
Great article.
Yeah. Now, Parkinson's, correct me if I'm wrong, Todd, that's the thing when like people uncontrollably shake.
That is correct.
Michael J. Fox had.
All right.
Michael J. Fox, yep.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure.
Muhammad Ali, famously, Michael J. Fox, of course.
Yeah, with Parkinson's, with Parkinson's and many other diseases, it's like exacerbated by like stress and like low sleep. And I mean, that's why cannabis really helps to regenerate, those cells in your body that have been deteriorated with sleep. It's like when you get sleep, your body can really heal itself a lot better, and cannabis definitely helps that. So that's amazing.
Todd, did this study specify a specific way of ingestment as far as the delivery method, whether these people were smoking it or having edibles or something like that?
Yeah, they did not. In fact, they said that was part of the conundrum, that they don't know which one works best.
Got it.
So it's really people trying it themselves and figuring out what works best for them.
I would imagine that the quicker onset of the smoking, landing on your lungs versus eating it, I would presume that would probably be better. But who knows? And as long as you're consuming it, I guess it's you're gonna reap the benefits.
I would have thought it'd be like tinctures, like they use like with kids.
Sublinguals, yeah.
I bet that would work too. Yeah.
I mean, once again, shout out to Germany doing the work very quickly. Like, how many studies have we read about just this week that Germany's doing? And they're trying to push this research forward so quickly after legalization, and the U.S. is still just stalled. So I'm glad somebody's doing the work. I'm very disappointed that we are where we are and we're unable to do this kind of stuff. So,
Yarrow, you have any thoughts on this?
I don't see what the big deal is about muscle rigidity. I like muscle rigidity. I don't think we need to solve for that.
Yeah,
Yarrow's pulling out his.
Well, you take a pill for that too, Yarrow. So that's
right, exactly.
Nice, strong, hungry man in front of him. Nice, stiff.
Oh boy. Oh boy, you guys. This is great news. I'm glad that that cannabis is helping for yet another condition that many Americans suffer from, and hopefully
cannabis saves.
Hopefully, some people that do have some family members or whatnot that are suffering from this will see this and possibly try to administer some cannabis to try to see if that helps their condition as well. But
I had a conversation with my mom yesterday because my stepdad is dealing with the early stages of dementia, and we talked about that story where the neuroprotectant and the anti-aging in the rat's brain. So yeah, maybe we'll get my stepdad back to smoking pot.
Oh, that would be awesome. I know I sent that video over to a doctor that specializes in regenerative health, and he was like, "Wow, this is really, really, really amazing, and this is so good." So yeah. And if you haven't checked that out, make sure that you check that out too from yesterday's show. But on that, we're going to roll into a commercial, and we're going to be right back.